All right, let's talk about the SAT reading section. You know those questions where you feel like you're just kind of throwing a dart at the wall? Yeah, those. Today, we're going to crack the code on one of the most predictable parts of the test. So if you're tired of just guessing, this is for you. Let's get right into it.
You really have to picture the SAT looking you right in the eye and saying this. It's not just asking, hey, what do you think the answer is? No, it's demanding, okay, you chose answer C. Now prove it to me. This whole thing is less of a test and more of a game, and your only job is to find that cold, hard proof.
So what exactly are we dealing with here? Well, these are always two-part questions. The first one's a pretty standard reading question, but the second one, that's the kicker. It asks you to find the exact lines in the text that back up your first answer. This whole setup is designed to separate the people who can logically defend their answers from those who are just, going with a vibe. Now, here's the good news. Beating the system isn't really about being a good reader or anything like that. It's all about having a disciplined method, and there is a nearly foolproof way to tackle these every single time and just lock in those points. This right here, this is the golden rule. You need to burn this into your brain. The mantra is super simple. Answer first. Prove second. I'm going to say it again because it's that important. Answer first. Prove second. This one little piece of discipline is the key to the whole shebang. Okay, so let's break that down. Step one is simple but crucial. You answer that first question completely on its own. And I mean it. Do not, under any circumstances, peek at the line number choices for the second question. Just find the answer. Step two, before you look at the options, you ask yourself, all right, where did I find that proof? You should have a specific spot in mind. And then finally, step three, you look at the evidence choices and just match one to the spot you already found. It's a clean, logical process. All right, so once you've really mastered that standard method, there is a way to level up. Think of this as a top scorer move, a kind of killer shortcut for when you're feeling confident and you want to move even faster. So what's the difference? Well, the standard way is answer, then prove. This shortcut completely flips that on its head. You actually start by quickly skimming the four evidence choices. You're hunting for the single strongest, most important statement among them. Then you take that one powerful line and you go backwards, seeing which answer to the first question it directly supports. Now, a big, big word of warning here. This shortcut is high risk, high reward. You should only use it when one of the evidence choices practically jumps off the page at you. If you're looking at the four options and one is just screaming, this is the main point, that's your signal. If not, don't risk it. Just stick to the standard method. Okay, so we've got our offensive strategy down, but any good player knows you need a solid defense too. It's not enough to know the right way to solve these, you also have to know how the test makers are going to try to trick you. So let's decode their favorite traps. So what are these traps, really? Well, the folks who write the SAT are experts at creating answer choices that feel right, but are totally logically wrong. They prey on students who are reading too fast or just relying on a vague feeling instead of concrete proof. Let's break these down because they're super specific. First, they'll give you lines that are factually true according to the passage, but they don't actually prove your specific answer. Second, they'll just pull a quote from the wrong paragraph entirely. Third, and this is the sneakiest one, they'll offer a line that is perfect proof for one of the other incorrect answers. And finally, you'll get those lines that just kind of summarize the whole topic, but don't prove the specific point the question is asking about. The main point here is this. The SAT is a game of precision. Yeah, it can feel kind of petty sometimes, but that's the whole point. It's designed to reward the test taker who is incredibly precise and logical, and it penalizes the one who's just looking for a general vibe. So, you might be wondering, why are we spending all this time on just one question type? Well, it's because the payoff for mastering this one skill is huge. It's one of the absolute fastest ways to see a real jump in your SAT reading score. Think about it. Each of these pairs is a 2-for-1 deal. 2 raw points. But here's the kicker. They're linked. If you get the evidence question wrong, it is almost a guarantee you got the first question wrong, too. So it's double or nothing. Mess up one, you lose 2 points. Nail it, you gain 2. The stakes are really high on every single pair. And this really shows the difference. Students who guess or just use their gut on these questions, they hit a score ceiling they just can't seem to break through. But students who master the system, they see their scores climb and climb consistently. You're literally taking control of a huge chunk of the test. If you take only one thing away from all of this, let it be this right here. The entire game of SAT reading comes down to trusting the text and only the text. Your feelings, your outside knowledge, what you think the author was trying to say, all of it is completely irrelevant. The only thing that matters is what is printed right there on the page. So the question for you is, are you ready to stop being a guesser and start being a master? Because with this system, you can stop letting the test happen to you and start taking control of your score. The code is right there on the text, just waiting for you to crack it.